Whether you're trying to land a full-time job or secure freelance clients, LinkedIn is a great social platform for getting your name and your work in front of hiring managers and potential clients. So LinkedIn is a great platform for getting the right eyes on your work. When I started my freelance business as a master's student, I landed nearly all of my work from LinkedIn. People would find me by typing in keywords, they would go to my portfolio, and then they would reach out from LinkedIn or via email, letting me know that they found me on LinkedIn. And I landed over $100,000 of sales my first year in business just from LinkedIn alone. So this platform is powerful, and in this video, I'm going to share everything that I learned from using LinkedIn. And if you're looking for full-time jobs, don't worry, I would get recruiters reaching out to me consistently, and LinkedIn has been updating more and more over the years, so there are better tools available for getting found and landing work. So let's dive into it here. The first step to getting found on LinkedIn is to optimize your profile. This piece is very important, and we're going to dive into each one of these items that you can optimize. So first up is the tagline. So this is what shows right beneath your name anytime someone goes to your profile or anytime someone finds you in the search results on LinkedIn. So I can show you really quickly right here if we go to my profile. So you can see Devlin Peck, and right beneath that is the tagline, freelance e-learning designer and developer, instructional designer, XAPI consultant. So you can see what I'm doing here is I am using this keyword tagline approach. So I'm stuffing it with the keywords that I want to be found for. Instructional designer, e-learning developer, XAPI. So that is a very common approach, and it will definitely get you appearing in the search results. The other approach, which if you're very clear about who your target audience is and the value you provide, you can use this value proposition tagline. So let me show you an example of that. So here we have Steven Johnson. So I don't know Steven, but I found this and I think he did a pretty good job with this. He says, I help business-to-business consultants to find their competitive advantage and book new clients every month using my lean strategy. So you see, this is a very clear value proposition. He's saying who he helps them to find their competitive advantage and book new clients, something every consultant would want, using his specific unique strategy. So this is a very good value proposition tagline. And we can also look at Jeff later here. So this is like a combo approach of the value proposition and the keywords. So Jeff says, I help entrepreneurs and executives lose weight and get fit without the crazy diets. DM me for more info, follow for daily content. So we have some call to actions here, even in the tagline. And then he adds in some keywords as well, fat loss expert and online fitness coach. So if someone's looking for those terms, he would presumably come up and you would get that really strong value proposition about losing weight and getting fit. So good stuff there. The tagline is definitely important, definitely not something you want to skimp out on. So decide which one of those you want to go with. The keyword one is much easier to get started with, especially if you're just looking for work and you want to come up for more general terms. All right, so after you have that tagline situated, we want to make sure you have a really solid profile photo. This is what will show up again next to your name in all cases. I would really suggest including a high quality professional headshot of yourself. So not really something illustrated. Like LinkedIn is a pretty professional platform and people want to see who you are and who they're talking to. So keep it professional here. Yeah, nice headshot. I just had my wife take mine. I'll probably get professional ones once COVID is done, but just make sure it looks nice and you can see your face and it's professional. The cover photo is a bit trickier to get right. So this is the banner that appears across the top of your profile page whenever someone lands on your profile. So the general advice here is to try to convey your brand or your personality with this photo. So something that, represents who you are, your mission. Usually when people are starting, it's something more generic that they find on like a stock photo site. But the best ones include your value proposition and maybe even your contact info or a call to action. So if we go back over here and look at these examples again, Look at Jeff Lader's cover photo. It has his value proposition. I help entrepreneurs lose weight and get fit. And we can see all of his contact information right here as well with the photo of himself and this professional branding. Steven Johnson, helping businesses win more clients with my lean strategy. So again, we have a little, we have this computer, we have this like digital vibe, we have a little bit of branding going on, and we have that clear call to action. On mine, it needs some work. I just have my website. That's where I am always trying to direct people. But these are much better examples, especially Jeff's here. Very well built out. And if your eyes are traveling down the page, this banner is probably the first thing you're going to be looking at. So definitely worth putting the time in and finding something that works for your cover photo. All right, next is the about section. And this is the biggest section you have to describe like who you are and what you do. So I think, the limit is pretty high here. You can write multiple paragraphs and you should make full use of those paragraphs. So here you're describing what you do and how you create value. So again, briefly who you are, what your mission is, how are you creating value for the places that will hire you, or whether it's a full-time employer or a potential client, how are you producing value? As an instructional designer, I can talk about how I create learning experiences that improve human performance, right? Or I can talk about how I solve e-learning problems with my technical skill set. So just think about what problem you're really solving and try your best to communicate that. You also, in this area, can talk about your story, like why you are a good fit for the role or for solving that problem. So you can talk about your background. Again, this isn't like resume bullet points. You're really telling this story of your experiences and why it's now your mission to do what it is that you're doing. So if you've ever written like a personal statement, kind of take out some of that and pull it into this about section. One more note about this, make sure that you're incorporating the keywords that you want to be found for. So I'm going to use the words instructional design, learning experience design, e-learning developer. Try to use those words in a natural way in your about section, because the more places you're incorporating those keywords in your profile, the more likelihood that you're going to rank for those keywords when people search for your name. And then finally, this goes especially for freelancers or people who are looking for clients, but include a call to action in this about section. I think in my first sentence and one of my last sentences, I'm trying to direct people to my website. If you want to learn more about me and my services, go to devlinpeck.com. Check out my work on devlinpeck.com. So again, this is a good place to direct people to wherever it is you want them to go. Maybe that call to action is to just DM you for more information about your services. That's completely fine. All right, so next up we have experience. So this is the section that is a bit more like a resume, and I can again give you examples of what we're talking about here. So if we go on mine, this is that about section. You see we can press see more, and again, it's like multiple paragraphs. You see I even have this specialties option right here where I'm including all of those keywords I want to be found for. And if we scroll down, here is the experience section we're talking about now. So this is where you list your job role. Again, look at these keywords I'm trying to use. Freelance e-learning designer and developer, e-learning and XAPI consultant. It will have your company, the duration, and then this section where you can include all of these, I call them resume verb bullet points. So design and develop custom e-learning. And again, notice I'm using all of these keywords. You can use keywords throughout this entire section. Primary development tools. So if someone's looking for these tools, my name might also come up in those search results. So just remember, you can use these bullet points just as you would on a resume. This is really the section where people are going to see, what have you done in the past? So include those work and volunteer experiences. Use those strong resume verbs like led, executed, developed, designed, spearheaded. So you can just Google resume verb list to find those verbs, and that's what you can use to craft those bullet points. And then, of course, like I mentioned, this is a really good place to include keywords. Every section you want to be using these keywords just to help your search rankings. Social proof. This is another very important and often overlooked part of LinkedIn profiles. So you can talk about how great you are for the job and you know, what great work you've done, but it's gonna make you a lot more credible if people can see what other people have to say about your work and what you've done. So again, let's look at an example here. So the social proof comes in the form of endorsements, which you can see here, but also recommendations. So you can see, you know, when other people are saying good things about you, these more meticulous hiring managers and clients will read this and see what people have to say. So what I would highly suggest doing is asking your maybe peers that you've worked closely with or your current or previous supervisors who have good things to say about you. Ask them if they can give you a recommendation on LinkedIn, because it will help build the credibility of your profile. So the endorsements will just come over time when people who know you can do more work, like they'll give you those endorsements, but the recommendations where people actually type something out and say nice things about you, it is definitely worth asking. Just say, you know, I'm currently working on my LinkedIn profile. I would really appreciate it if you could, you know, take a few minutes to write me a recommendation about X, Y, and Z, maybe your teamwork skills, whatever they can speak highly about. And then just say, you know, no pressure if I know you're busy. You know, like it doesn't have to be a demand, but it does not hurt to ask, and it will help you. Okay, this is another newer feature which is really nice on LinkedIn. It's this featured section, and it lets you feature links. So on my profile, I'm featuring my website. You can also feature past projects so that people can really quickly see the kind of work that you produce. Or you can include some kind of about me or intro video. So they have really nice options, and again, I'll show you that here. So this is at the very top of your profile. Right under that about section, there's this featured section. And right now, if anyone clicks this, it just brings them right to my website. So it is a perfect call to action. And just to show you, you see you can feature posts that you've made, articles that you've published on LinkedIn, media, so photos, but also, yeah, you can bring them off of the platform onto your site. So really cool stuff here. I definitely recommend taking advantage of that feature. All right, so that wraps up the optimizing your portfolio section. So we may have moved through it fairly quickly, but take your time with this. Like, get that profile in good shape, because once your profile is looking good, then it's time to start getting eyes on it. And you're gonna naturally have eyes coming on it from the search results, because if you've done all of that keyword optimization. But it will really start to compound once you grow your network, because people are prioritized based, like if I'm searching for like a graphic designer, I'm going to see graphic designers who are my first, second, or third connections. So the more connections you have, the more people search results that you're appearing in. So I suggest sending requests to people in your field. So look up other people with similar job titles and, you know, look at their experiences, look at the roles they're in and the responsibilities they have. And when you find people who seem like they would be good people to follow, send a connection request. You can add a note saying why you were intrigued or why you're requesting to connect. And maybe you can include a brief introduction. So you can personalize those invites, and I recommend you do so. But take the time, you know, every day to look for people that may make good connections. And it goes without saying, you know, connect with your actual professional network. If there are people that you follow in your space who produce helpful content or who you know do good work, reach out to them and try to connect with them on LinkedIn. Because again, when you make these connections, like not only does it help other people find you better or more easily, but it also makes your feed more valuable. Because there are a lot of people sharing very valuable content on LinkedIn. So, you know, just connecting with those people will help curate that field and help you with your professional development while you are getting those leads or getting those recruiters reaching out to you. And then of course you can reach out to your other networks. So odds are you're probably connected professionally on like a Facebook page, or you go to like live or virtual events where there are a bunch of other people present. Feel free to say, you know, if anyone else wants to connect, I'd be happy to connect on LinkedIn. Here's a link to my profile. So yeah, take advantage of those other networks. Try to build that network that you have elsewhere on LinkedIn, because many industries do take advantage of LinkedIn as a platform, and recruiters are definitely on there on a daily basis. All right. So as you're making those connections, you can also update your job preferences. And this is another really cool feature on LinkedIn that makes it easier to find work. So if you go to the top of your profile, you see here this option, show recruiters you're open to work. So you can click on this, and now you can type the job roles in. So if I'm interested in instructional designer, for example, I can type that in. I can say that I'm open to remote work. I can say when. You can even put the types of opportunities that you're open to, and you can make this visible to everyone using LinkedIn or only recruiters. So really cool stuff here. Definitely take advantage of that feature if you're looking for a full-time job. I'm not though, so I will not turn that on. But yeah, I mean, LinkedIn is just making it easier and easier to get found by the right people. So, and then finally, when you're on LinkedIn and you have this set up, you're getting found, people are coming to your profile and then taking you up on those call to actions. You can also actually do some networking on LinkedIn to grow that traffic and to, build your network. So comment on posts where you can provide some insight or where you might ask for clarification or maybe even just provide encouragement to other content creators. But comment on posts, get your name out there. Then people are just one click away from clicking on your profile and seeing what it is that you are all about. If someone posts an interesting post or comment and you want to take the discussion a bit more personal or ask them more detailed questions, maybe you can just send them a direct message and have that conversation there. Maybe ask for an informational interview, for example. And you can share your own work and your own insights by posting yourself. You can make posts, you can share links to your work elsewhere. And it's just a really good way to take advantage of the platform. You don't need to only have your network on there. Once you have a good number of people coming to you on LinkedIn, you can bring them to other places like your website or your YouTube channel or wherever that may be. But again, if you're just trying to get a full-time job, getting more eyes on your profile, like the likelihood of getting that profile in front of the right person just goes up the more people that you have coming on it. So I hope that this was helpful. If you'd like me to do a full video about how to actually grow your audience on LinkedIn and do more of like the networking side of things and pushing content out there and growing a following, let me know in the comments and I will create a video like that if there's enough demand for it. If you did enjoy this video, please like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.